Value in use is another type of value that should be considered whenever looking at a property to determine what it's worth. Sometimes a property can be used for a variety of different usages, and then that usage may actually cause the property to be worth more than another. I'll give you an example. Years ago, I had a listing for a nursery. That nursery was being used to cultivate and farm flowers. Those flowers were then sold, and a certain profit was being generated from the business. Now, when we marketed the listing, we were not marketing only to just nurseries, we were also marketing to the entire agriculture industry, solar industry when we were looking at solar farms, along with the water industry that could have been utilizing the land for water usage. And what we found is the value in use for those was grossly different depending on the usages for the property. Now, this does relate a little bit into the investment portion or the investment value of a property, but it specifically has to do with the value in use. Why does that matter? Well, we got significantly different bids from people while we were marketing the home. Those who were looking to buy the property as an existing nursery saw value in it because it did have a customer base of existing flower customers and the relationships that they had in the community, but also they were only producing so much on the margin of selling flowers. And so we received offers at a certain level for that. We also received a little bit less from people who were looking to purchase the property and really demolish most of it and just use it as a solar farm. Solar had a huge push at that time, and so there was general interest that was in the property, but they weren't generating significant amounts of money that could be fluctuating in let's say, a flower farm industry, and they really just wanted something that was as cheap as possible so that they could make a good margin on that solar plant. And so we received different bids for a solar company to come in and purchase the land. We then received a bid which was significantly higher. And this was not for farming flowers of this certain kind, it was actually for farming marijuana. And in this case, the margins on the marijuana were so significantly higher, and they needed areas that were just like nurseries, that because of the value in use as a marijuana farm, the value of that property to a marijuana farm holder would be so much more because it had its own water usage, etc., that we received a significantly higher bid from marijuana farmers. And so as you look at all of those values were given in the perspective of the value in use based upon what the buyer wanted to have the property's end use be for that specific property. So as you look at value in use, think to yourself, who is my buyer, or who could be my buyer? What is the highest and best use for the property, not only in its given state, but what it could be used for? You are one step closer to confidence and expertise inside of the real estate appraisal world. You know, I don't know if you've been selling real estate for 1 minute or you've been selling it for over a decade. Getting better at valuation is critical to the success of a real estate agent. And here's why. Your buyers are constantly looking at you. Where is this property going to sell? And you need to speak with confidence about it. Your sellers are asking, I don't want to undersell. I want to make sure that I sell at the top dollar. Where do you go from here? How do you truly do that? You know, if you are in the process right now, and maybe this is you, where you're sitting at dining room tables with maybe a CMA toolkit and you're trying to flip through pages as to show properties and what they're worth, guys, you're doing it all wrong. I'm sure you've probably had success, but you could have far more success if you truly know the appraisal process, how to do it, and how to speak with confidence to your clients so that you can say, I know where this property is going to sell. If you're on the buy side, you won't make a mistake. And I know where this property is going to sell if you're on the sell side, and let me get the most amount of money for you. If you're on the fence of purchasing this course, I want you to ask yourself, has it ever been a better time to invest in yourself in a more tumultuous market than right now? I'd love to see you inside the course.